Hello cadets, how are you all? I hope everybody is fine. On behalf of Impact Academy, myself Manish Dhawan, today my main purpose of posting this video is to show you two very important things which we have focused during our academics, and the second one will be the portion of few or discussion of few questions which are very important and how we have taught our students during the academic session. Now, cadets, if we listen to this properly, then the first, as I have already told you, is discussion of this physics. Today, our main motto will be this. The second is the breakdown of the structure of the question which have been asked in physics. Let's see this one by one. If we study this structural breakdown, then it will be, you can see very clearly that from motion to heat, it is from the +1, and the rest from current to electromagnetism was from +2. The main concern was the mechanics portion and heat. Overall, this count up to 15 questions. So cadets, +1 is very important. So that's why from our +1, we start making the student undergo all the PYQs and various other important articles through concept map so that they can work on it. Second is the +2 portion, which is mainly, if you see, is from electromagnetism or electricity plus optics. They are the main role playing. Surprisingly, this time there were no more questions from electromagnetic waves, although, but we should be, of course, doing it also. Now, if I observe this, then cadets, the second motto of this video is to understand few important questions through the concept which we teach in our regular classes. Now, let's see this one by one. Now, if we read this question, which of the following is, of course, this question is from the optics. Now, which of the following among is correct for the focal length of the combination? So, you all know that for combination, the simple formula of power is P1 plus P2 because they have given me powers. Let us suppose this is P1, which is for the convex, and this is P2, which is for the concave. So if I write it as 2.5D minus 2D, because this is negative, so answer will come out to be 0.5 diopter. Now we all know that power is reciprocal of the focal length, so I can say focal length is 1 by power. And if I put this as 0.5, so this will be 10 by 5, which will come to 2. So the focal length will be, of course, this is a positive, so this combination will be behaving as +2. That is Charlie option. Now you can see that this is a very basic thing which we study during optics, that how to use the combination of lengths. Now let's come to the next question. In the next question, this is very interesting one, as you can see. Here, a basic idea has been checked of the student. For explaining this question, I have taken a picture also. Cadets, if we see this question, then it says that this skydiver has two forces. One is the Q force. This force is, of course, the drag. This drag is due to the air friction. And the second one is P. P means the weight. Weight is always acting in the downward direction. Now, if I discuss this, then you can see initially the drag is less. Drag is less than the weight. But there is a time when they both are equal to each other. So what is happening? Weight is same, but drag is changing itself. Because weight is due to the pull. This is due to the gravity pull. So this is going to be same. So if I see this, after opening the parachute, That is, when the person opens the parachute, if we can see, the drag becomes large. It becomes large than the weight, of course. So if the parachute opens, it says P remains same, P means the weight, while Q increases. Q is the drag and drag is going to increase. So my option will be Charlie. So this shows that as the parachute opens, there is an increase of the drag. Drag means the upward force. But weight, because it is due to the gravity, remains unchanged. So this was a really interesting question. And the option comes out to be Charlie. Now let's see the next. This question is from, you can see the motion in 1D. A vehicle starts from rest and start moving on a path. So let me just draw a vehicle. So let us suppose this is a car. It starts from rest. So U is 0. Now again acceleration is there, but that is constant, which is 2 meter per second square. So when the car reaches after time t a position, we are not aware of this velocity. So we can find this velocity by using the formula v is equal to u plus at, where u is 0, a is how much? 2, and time is t. So v will become 2t. And after 10 seconds, that is time is t plus 10. So if I take this, using the acceleration is equal to how much? 5 meter per second square. I can find this distance also. So the first distance, that is this one, is s1, and this distance for me will be s2. The question says the total distance traveled by the vehicle is 550 meters. So this overall s1 plus s2 is how much? 550 meters. And this 550 meter is s1 plus s2. For s1, we can calculate this using the equation, which is s1 will be given by, I can take the brush as let, s1 is half at square, where a is 2 t square. So this will come out to be t square. And s2 is, I know that this is the initial velocity. This behave as initial velocity. So let me use this one. So s2 will be ut, that is 2t, time is 10, plus half, a is 5 into 10 square. I am using the second equation of motion for this. That is s2 is given by ut plus half at square. Now this equation will come out to be 550 meters was there, t square, this will be 20t, and this will be coming out to be equal to, because this is 100 by 2, which is 100 by 2 is 50, so this is 250. So my equation final will be t square plus 20t, and this comes out to be minus 300 meters. So this, on solving this quadratic equation, the time period will come out to be how much? If I solve this, this will come out to be 10 seconds. So you can see that this question was basically based on motion in one dimension, where the equations have been used. We have to use the equations very carefully. I have mentioned many times in my class that whenever there is a case of uniform accelerated motion, always use these equations. And this is specifically mentioned in NCERT also, which we tell our students. Now let's see the next question. Cadets, in the next question, which I am pursuing with, is regarding this is very interesting one. You know, this is a question which was based just on reading the question. This is from Gravitation. So the question says masses of the planet. So this is, let us suppose there are two planets. Let me put them as planet, mass of planet 1, mass of planet 2. Now, whatever is the sentence, it says that ratio of the masses 1:7, masses are different, diameters are different. But the main concern was the ratio of the forces which they exert on each other is. You all know that gravitational force is always an attracting force. So whatever force one will exert on two, it will be equal to the force by 2 on 1. That is, they are always, that is, they obey Newton's third law. This is the property of gravitation. Newton's third law, which says that F12 is equal and opposite to F21. So my option will be, the ratio of the forces will be, of course, 1:1. This was simple, tricky. They say that masses are there and they are attracting each other. So just we have to focus on this. The whole story was based on the last line and what you know about the properties of the gravitation, which we always tell the student. Keep in mind all the characteristics of the gravitational force. All the fundamental forces are very important. Now, let's see the next question. In this question, this is based on general formula for force. If we see this, force is what? Mass into acceleration. They are using this only in this question. As I have said, mechanics and +1 portion should be thoroughly seen. NCERT is very important. The question says, a car whose mass is given to me as 1000 kg is moving with a uniform velocity of 72 km per hour. So this is a velocity, which is initial velocity is 72 km per hour. Let me change it to meter per second. So this will come out to be how much? So 5/18. So this will come out to be hardly 20 meters per second. Solving this using, you know how to convert kilometer per hour into meter per second by multiplying by 5/18. Now it says that it comes to rest because there is a force, there is a retarding force. So this is a retarding force due to which the velocity final comes out to be 0. And the time for this whole duration is how much? They have taken it as 2 seconds, 0.2 seconds, sorry. So we all know that force is what? Force retarding will be mass of the body into acceleration, and acceleration is given by change in velocity upon time taken. So if I put this as 1000, because mass is given to me, velocity final was 0, minus initial was 20, and time is how much? 0.2. So if I solve this, this will come out to be approximately 1000 Newton. If you see that there will be a negative sign also, negative 1000 kilonewton. Why this negative sign? Negative sign is why? Because this is a retarding force and you can see that the speed is decreasing. So of course, any retarding force, friction force, they are all called as negative forces. They are all non-conservative. We have highlighted many times in our classes also. Okay, cadets, now let's see the next question. Yeah, this is based on, I said always in my classes that conservation of energy, fundamental forces, you should be knowing this. They are very important. Now here it says that there is a mass which is of how much? 320 kg, 320 gram is being dropped. So convert this 320 divided by 1000, this will be in kilogram. It has been dropped. And there was, of course, conservation of energy. So this is the initial position. So when it strikes here, there will be a velocity v. So this is the final position. We all know that there is a conservation of energy. So if I apply this conservation of energy, so what does it says? It simply says that total energy initial, whatever is initial, is equal to total energy final. So let us equate them. Total energy initial is in the form of potential energy, gravitation, and this is in the form of kinetic energy final when it strikes. So it is given to me initial is potential energy is how much? 625 joules, and this kinetic energy is half mv square, where mass is given to me as how much? 320, which is in gram. Of course I have converted in kilogram. divided by 1000, v square, 625. Cadets, if I solve this, on solving the velocity will come out to be how much? 62.5 meter per second. So as you can see, this conservation of energy is very important one. Make sure that everybody, while preparing for this NDA, you should go through all conservative forces, conservative laws, and all fundamental forces. Of course, there will be 2-3 questions based on this complete idea. So now let's move to the next one. This is again a question which is based on general. I should have a basic knowledge of motion, what is distance, what is displacement, and if it is a uniform motion and if it is a uniform excited motion, what are the basic parameters for it. The question says that a vehicle accelerates at a rate of 2 meters per second. So if I go with this, there is a acceleration starting from west. So let us put this as S1, and then it accelerates again at a rate of this for 10 seconds southwards. So this is my S2. So there are two. This is my initial position. There are two distance it is covering, and this is my final. But the question says the net displacement of the vehicle from starting point is. So what is the net displacement of the vehicle? The net displacement of the vehicle will be this one, which is S. So if I have to find out this S will be what? Displacement will be given by S1 square plus S2 square. This is the displacement. Now cadets, if I observe this, my S1 distance, it says that it starts from rest and has an acceleration of this. This is acceleration and this is time. So using the equation half at square, where u was 0, so half a is how much? 2, and time is how much? 10 square. So this will come out to be 100 meters. And similarly S2, which is again half 80 square, which is half. Now acceleration for the second part is given to me as this, I am considering as A2. 4 root 2 into time is again same for the next 10 seconds. So that is 10 square, that is 100. So I can cancel this. Root 2 is 1.41. So this will be 2.82 because root 2 key value everybody knows it is 1.41. So this will be 282 into 100. So this is 282. So my equation 1, hence I can say my equation 1 will be under root of S1 square, which is S2 square. Now put these values here, that is under root of 100 square plus 282 square, and this overall comes out to be 300 meter if I do the full calculation with under root. So you can see the basic idea of displacement is to be there, and equations of motion. Keep in mind, these are very, very important portions. Now let's see the next one. In this question, the question says that the figure is being shown. This is a question which is based on the basic knowledge of weight and upthrust. Cadets, we all know that when we, from the Archimedes principle, that when we put a body, this principle simply says the buoyancy is there. So there is a buoyancy which is also called as upthrust, which will make the body move up, and the second one is the gravity, which is definitely the weight. Now you can see that on this body, the buoyancy, upthrust, and this is the weight, and this is the upthrust for the second body, and this is the weight. Okay, now the figure shows there are cubes C1 and C2 of negligible mass and with liquids of density ρ1 and ρ2 respectively, but they are floating in water. Now it is very much clear that negligible mass depend with darkened area, this is darkened area, with liquids of density this. So they are partially filled with the liquids. Now you can see that in this, the upthrust is less in first as compared to the second. So definitely the density, because if upthrust, if I compare it with the weight, then it is very much clear that this body is being pulled more. It is more than the second. So it means the weight of the second one is more than the weight of the first. This is very much clear. The body wise, if I see, the weight of the second one is more than the weight of the first. So it simply means that density wise, if I go, the density of one is less, that's why upthrust is more. Density of two is more, so upthrust is less. And the third one, which is this, we can say the water, of course they are floating in water. Water is basically not making them sink. If they were able to sink, it means that upthrust was less. So it means simply that if a body is able to float, then the weight of the body should be equal to upthrust. Weight of the body is greater than upthrust, then it will sink. And if the weight of the body is less than upthrust, then it will rise up. So my option is Charlie. Now let's go to the next question. Cadets, if we see the next one, this is based on the basic idea that if I have a lens, now we all know that it is a convex lens, and for a convex lens, the focal length, you can see this is the focal length 2f. Any object which is placed at 2f will be formed the image at 2f. But if I put this at, it will be formed at infinity. So this is wrong. If it is 2f, then it has to be on 2f. Image has to be on 2f. So this is also wrong. But if it is at 2f, and this is a convex lens, you can see these rays are there. This is 2f. Then it has to be on the 2f portion. Now there are the rays which are passing through this focus, and they are merging at a point. The size has to be same. And if you see this, they are mentioning here that this is passing through this focus and this is of same size as the original. So my option will be brown. Now comes the next. So you can see that all the points which are mentioned in the table are very important. You just keep in mind the table where the position of the object is there and how the image is being formed. Now cadets, if I see this next question, this is from the electricity, the current electricity portion. Cadets, you all know that when we observe this potential, the value of potential is given by I into R. So this current is 3 ampere and resistance is 100. So this will come out to be 300 volt. Since they are in parallel, the potentials remain same. So the voltage or the potential is same, is constant. So it means they all will have voltage of 300, 300. Now basic part was the current, but the current does not remain same. So if I have to measure this current as I2 and I3, then I2 will be equal to V by R2 and I3 will be V by R3. So this is V is how much? We have already mentioned 300. Resistance is how much? 200. So this will come out to be 1.5 ampere, and this will come out to be 300 divided by 300, that is 1 ampere. So my sum overall current will count out to be 5.5 ampere. So the option will be Bravo. You can see how this basic Ohm's law is very important. You should be remembering this. This is a very important question as it has been mentioned in NCERT of 10th as well as plus 2. So make sure that everybody observe this parameter, very important. Now let's go to the next. Yeah, again this is very much similar question as we have seen the lens, but now they are focused on the concave mirror. And I have given you all the possible options where the object when placed can form the image. Now it says that it is placed at the center of curvature. So center of curvature is this one, this position. Center of curvature C, C, C. Now if I place an object at center of curvature, the image is formed on the same side and it is The images, we all know that it is real, inverted, and of same size. Magnification is -1, you can say, because inverted and of same size. So make sure that everybody go through the table which we have seen in plus, that is for the mirrors. We specifically make our student undergo through this table. For the mirror, the position of the object, and same goes with the lens. So I hope this video is clear to all. Cadets, I would like to tell you one thing, that every exam can be achieved very easily if you prepare it from the very beginning and get a right guidance that what has to be done for that specific exam. And we always try this one. The rest of the questions I have not discussed. The reason behind that is they were not of that much level to be discussed. Moreover, if you want to go through all those questions in detail, you can like and go through our website as well as watch this further videos. For this, you can contact further the website as well as the contact number is there. I hope everybody is clear with this. Okay, now let's finalize this with, it was nice to talk to you all. I hope everybody must have gained something through this video. At last, again, I hope best for your future. Jai Hind.